What's going on, y'all? Day 3 of 31 days straight of content is here. And if you watched the first one, Lane Kiffin, the second one, the Rams choke, today fits the name, the sports fanatic, women's basketball SEC ACC challenge. It's your boy, the sport fanatic, your boy Deal, man. I'm back with another video, and we talking women's basketball. The SEC ACC challenge is one of my favorites. I'm like, yeah, I just got out the shower. Look, I still got the fog. I still got the fog from my shower on my glasses. You know, it's that hot shit. But the SEC ACC challenge for women's basketball has always been one of my favorite non-con matchups that they do, just to keep the ratings up, to keep the storylines going for college basketball. They do it on the men's side too, but I really only tap into the women's. But they really need to get a hold of this. I would love to see it turn into a tournament, much rather than the holiday Thanksgiving tournament. So hopefully they can figure something out like that, because I would love to see whoever is the champion of the SEC play against the champion of the ACC, and they get like a trophy or some cool trophy like that. Because what's a challenge without a champ? Come on now, what's a challenge without a champ? So I think if they can figure out, because it was like about 15 games in between both, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be South Carolina, Texas, and Stanford or NC State to make it. We're going to go through the whole schedule and all things like that, but I'm excited to talk about it. So let's get into, it's 2 days. They got Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to break down the most important matchups for both days. So we're going to start day 1. I think this is the late afternoon game. This is Oklahoma versus NC State. And it's a lot to talk about. And I'm going to go ahead and get this out the way for Oklahoma. I think they've built pretty decently through the offseason, through high school and transfer portal recruiting. They brought in the number 1 point guard, Aaliyah Chavez, from wherever she's from. But her and Reagan Beers are a 2-man tandem that has a lot to deal with. Chavez likes to get downhill. She likes to finish around the rim. But don't get it twisted like she won't pull the mid-range. Had to get that out. It's cold outside, so when you wake up, you gotta get the move on. But she loves to get downhill. She's not afraid to pull the midi or pull a deep tray ball. She playing like she Trae Young at Oklahoma. So, and then Reagan Beers, y'all know she a problem. She 6'6", 6'7", and she gonna get in that paint. She gonna get to work. She's strong. She got good finesse, good feet. I don't see a lot of jumpers from her. I would love to see more jumpers to elevate her game going into the WNBA season next year. So hopefully they see that development from her game. But Oklahoma is Oklahoma. They're gonna do what they do. They're gonna run and gun, get up and down the floor, feed it to Reagan Beers on a half-court mismatch, and then they just going to go from there. One thing that I think will be a problem in this SEC ACC challenge, I feel like something right there, and they don't want to come out. But one thing that I think will be a problem for Oklahoma is the on-ball defense. Just to keep it a bean, they got a bunch of unathletic white girls. That's just keeping it a bean. They got a bunch of unathletic white girls, and NC State has ball handlers. They get up and down. The premise of their offense is on the perimeter, then get downhill. And Oklahoma, the white girls going to have to work for it. They're going to have to move them feet, talk on defense, and, communicate with one another. Because going right into NC State, man, what a 8 games it's been. You've lost to Rhode Island. You've lost close ones to, what was it, to USC, TCU. And I'm not mad at those losses. Those are quality losses. But the loss I am pretty pissed off about, and I find out to be fucking crazy, is Rhode Island. You lose to Rhode Island by 5? How? Give me an answer. I'm not. I don't like that. From Camille Pierre, Zoe Brooks to my girl Tilda Trigger. How can you allow that to happen? You're a Power 5 level school, and you losing to Rhode Island. That's not good enough. But I haven't liked anything of NC State this year. I was very high on them this year, along with another team that's in this SEC ACC challenge. I was very high on NC State, but that 1-point win against Tennessee in the season opener, I mean, yeah, that was a good game. You and Tennessee, it's the first game of the season. So, it was anybody's game, 9 versus 8. I think Tennessee was 8, NC State was 9. So, that game, I wouldn't have been mad at that loss. I'm not mad at the TCU and the USC losses, even though you should have beat USC with just a freshman, Jazzy Davis, and even though she's been hooping out of her mind. But you still should have won that game. But it starts off, I'm going to start off like, I got so much to say about NC State because I ain't said nothing about them all season. We 8 games in. I see some BS on the court. The pace is not there in the half court. Zoe Brooks is ball hogging. I mean, she think this is and one. She cross over in every 30 seconds. She's using the whole shot clock. Not a fan of that. The free throw shooting for this team is garbage. I mean, your top 4 players barely shoot above 60%. That's a problem, especially when your 2 premier offensive players shoot 60%. That's not good. Tilda, she does not grab rebounds. She reminds me of Jaren Jackson, even though I think she's 6'5", 6'6". She has a great jumper. She's almost shooting 50, 40, 90 this season as a big, but she can barely make free throws. I think she leads their offensive prowess in free throw shooting. As one of the top offensive players for this team, she leads them in free throw shooting. When your big leads in free throw shooting, that's a problem. Like I said, Zoe Brooks, I'm reading my notes. She holds the ball way too long. Oh, and then I think one of the biggest matchups, or 2 of the biggest matchups, will be Tilda versus Reagan Beers and Camille Pierre versus Reagan Beers. Camille has seen Reagan a lot at Vandy, or the 1 year at Vandy. So, maybe she can help out. But Tilda, she has to step it up. She's the one they're counting on to stop Reagan Beers. I mean, she averages right under about 2 blocks a game, somewhere around there. She's going to have to give Reagan Beers everything she got. Reagan Beers is 22 and fucking 12. 26 and 12. Reagan Beers does that. And then not only that, Tilda's going to have to move them feet along with Camille Pierre when Chavez wants to come off the pick and roll and wants to come down in transition and get busy. If Zoe Brooks want to be the one showboating in transition, well, she needs to stop the showboating of Aaliyah Chavez once she gets downhill, because we know if you watch women's basketball and you watch Oklahoma women's basketball, Boomer Sooner basketball, you know Aaliyah Chavez is going to be the truth within a year or 2. So, my prediction, but my body is telling me yeah. But I'm going to go with my heart, NC State, man. I'm going to go with my heart. I think NC State, man, they've been battle-tested. This is the final straw, I believe, to see if you're going to have a good team or not. Oklahoma is the test to see how conference play will go, because conference play, when we blink, is in 3 weeks. So I think they desperately need a win here. They need a big win against a top 10 ranked team in the country, and I think they get it done. They're on the road as well. I think it'll be a close game, probably like 66-58, something like that. I just think the speed, the on-ball speed, the off-ball speed, the up-and-down pace that NC State normally plays with, like they did last year with Sanaya Rivers and all of them, I think it shows in this game today against Oklahoma. So, all that said, I got the Wolfpack. Moving on to game 2 that we're talking about. UTK versus Stanford. Did not watch much of Stanford this year, but I have seen they have a very good team. They did lose against FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast University, in a non-con neutral game. I think the game was in Vegas. They lost by 4, 66-62. I'm not really keen on a lot of players from Stanford. Like you say, the ACC, ever since Cameron Brink left, I really don't keep up with it. Just got the ESPN notification. Chris Paul will be released from the Clippers. That is crazy. That's a real definition of wash. It's a cold world out here, CP3. Farewell tour was happening anyways. You might get the start before Christmas. But they got a tough stretch. Starting from Tennessee on down. The next 5 games for them, or 4 games, goes UTK, Cal, Washington, and Oregon. Washington is ranked number 21 in the country right now. And Oregon just had Deja Kelly. So, I feel like they can still build their program pretty solid because they've had Sabrina Ionescu. So, I think they'll be A-okay. I think it'll still be a tough task for them. But I don't know, man. Losing to, a top 10 mid-major like FGCU when you're a Power 4, Power 5 school, it's never a good look. And this has been the year of upsets. This has been the year. We've seen West Virginia, even though they're a Power 4 school, they beat Duke, who's supposed to be a top 10 team in the country. You've seen Rhode Island beat NC State. A bunch of teams lost. The mid-majors is coming up. But I'm here to talk about UTK. That's the real thing. Kim Caldwell, man, I don't know if she's digressed or the team is digressed. I don't know what it is. I can't attach it. I was watching a game against UCLA earlier this week. Man, they didn't stand a chance. They got blown to smithereens by 25, 30 points. I don't know what's going on with Tennessee. Janiah Barker, she is playing in the last 2 years. She's played way better than I've seen with Tennessee than she's played in any other school. She's transferred them 6 times. She's used all her years. The offense is piss poor. The defense is piss poor. There's no dribble drive penetration. Then they force a lot of tough shots. In that UCLA game, if they could not get to the rim, they were shooting a heavily contested jump shot right in the face of defenders. It was a number of times. Lauren Betts was guarding the ball on the perimeter with Talasia Cooper and Janiah Barker. And Janiah Barker was hot to start off that first half. Janiah Barker had like 14 points. She hit a buzzer beater 3 at the end of the one. She started off hot in the second quarter, but it was really Gabrielle James and Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, the whole squad. They just couldn't keep up with. But no dribble drive penetration. They shot so many shots in front of the face of Lauren Betts. They didn't want to use their speed and their quickness to get after. You didn't see the full court press be a problem like it has been in her early time at Tennessee last season. But I don't know if I said it on here on Cam or if I said it to my friend Cam. Shout out Cam if you're watching this. But you think a college coach can't break a press, Coach Cam? I'm just being real, and I love Coach Cam. I would love to meet Coach Cam. But honestly, you don't think they can break a press? It can get you a couple free extra possessions, a couple free points, but it's not something you should rely on full court pressure. It just makes the opposing offense come too easy. And that's, when you get shooters and rim runners, easy lanes and easy looks, man, that's good as gold, man. It's good as gold. Excuse me. So I think they got a lot of figuring out to do. So I'm taking Stanford. It'll be interesting to see. For sure. But I think it'll be another close game. I think it can be like 58-60, 60-62, somewhere around there. So I can definitely see it being like that. Now, one team that shocked me moving on to the third game, and it's not a big game, but I definitely had to just bring this out real quick. Let the people know, you got to feed the streets sometimes. Georgia, women's basketball, 9-0. They played Florida State. We're not really here to talk about Florida State. Georgia, the year they had last year, going 4-12 in the SEC and 13-19 overall. Start off this season 4 wins away from their season total last year in wins. They got a squad. You got Cornegie. She's a transfer from Georgia Tech. 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal and a half, and 50% from the trade. She's shifty. She can shoot the piss out the rock. I've seen a few highlights. They blew the doors off Georgia Tech. They've beat Kansas, So they got some solid wins on their resume also. But it's like I said, it's during non-con time, so you're supposed to beat up on these mid-majors or Power 3, D2, D3 schools, whatever. So that comes. But you got Woolfolk, who mans the middle. She's just about under 13 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and she got a post bag. She got a real post bag. I mean, the post turnaround, the post hook, the post up and through. Woolfolk can get at it. Then you got Turner, 12 points a game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2.5 steals a game. And Thurkoff, I don't know how you say that. I ain't gonna lie. So I apologize, baby girl. Just under 11 points a game, 2 rebounds, and then 42% from long range. This is definitely a brand new team from what we seen last year. I can't tell you what we seen last year because it wasn't good, and if it wasn't good, I wasn't watching it. But they seem to be defensively sound, multiple ball handlers. They have 4 or 5 players who average double-digit or more, double-digit points, 10 or more. The floor spacing with efficient shooters. Looking at their roster and their stats, it was about 4 to 5 players who average about 40% or more from 3, 38 and up from 3. So that's pretty good. And then, like I said, you're almost at your win total. You're 4 wins away from your win total last year. You should beat Florida State after the removal of Tanaya Latson and the transfer that you brought in. So this Georgia team, I just wanted to highlight them. That's my highlight team. But they should be 10-0 against Florida State, and they should get it done. Now, moving on to the down-the-street rival, the Yellow Jackets, Georgia Tech. I only want to talk about Georgia Tech for one reason. So I had a lot of high hopes. They're in my top 25. I had them in my top 25. Obviously, they fell out because they're 3-5. They've lost to some very good teams. They've lost to Georgia. They have lost to St. John's. And I follow St. John's too. Shout out somebody I watch. Shout out Nunu. But Georgia Tech plays Texas A&M. Not really sure how that goes. Texas A&M is 5-1, 6-1. But, I really don't pay attention to that in non-con. The only thing I want to say about Georgia Tech is they have one of my favorite players. I got to call a lot of her games. Lania Foster, transfer from Austin Peay. In the ASUN conference, she was ASUN Freshman of the Year, all ASUN first team, back-to-back years. She's just a player within herself. But this is a new team. They're learning everybody, new coach. They lost, like I said, tough games. Against St. John, they got blew the doors off by Georgia. And I think St. John should be ranked. They seem like a pretty good team. So I'm taking Georgia Tech just because of the bias. Simple as that. Kentucky and Miami, keeping it simple. Clara Stratt, SEC most improved player, whatever you want to be. 15 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, almost 1.5 steals, and almost 3 blocks a game. Clara Stratt is doing it all for the Wildcats out there in Lexington, Kentucky. I mean, Kenny Brooks, if he has a big and a guard combo, hence Georgia Amore and Liz Kitley, he can't be stopped. In the ACC, Virginia Tech was running it. He brought him over here. He brought Georgia Amore over here, and they just about did the same damn thing. Clara Stratt, she can do whatever, whenever, however she wants, and I expect her to have another good game against Miami. I'm taking the Cats, baby, against the Canes. But before we move on, Tony Morgan, 11 points, 9 assists a game. I told you he can do it. That guard and big combo, Kenny Brooks is like none other in college basketball when putting a guard and a big together. He's really good at that. So that's make Miami to get the job done pretty easily. Last game I'm gonna really talk about Virginia and Vandy. I just want to talk about Vandy. I think they'll win easily. Michaela Blakes and Galvin. Shay Ralph, head coach, did the damn thing when it came to recruiting Galvin. She knew in order for Vandy to be successful without Camille Pierre and without having to rely a lot on Michaela Blakes, like another school that we're going to talk about on day 2, relies on their star guard a lot. She went and got a primary ball handler in Galvin. She's put up 16 assists in a game as a true freshman. Shea Ralph trusts Galvin to not only run the offense, but know when to feed Michaela Blakes. And Michaela Blakes she's a hell of a player. She's a hell of a player. She was a America Cup gold medalist during the summer, traveling across the country, across the world. SEC Freshman of the Year, nominated for Player of the Year, all freshman team, probably SEC all first, second team. 55 points, Florida, 53, Auburn. Michaela Blakes is her. And to get another guard to alleviate the pressure for her was genius. It's so simple, but it's so genius. People always think it's you put the ball into the hands of your best players. Yeah, you do, but you don't keep it in there the whole game. They shouldn't make every single decision out there on the court. And Galvin alleviates their pressure. Sometimes just allow Michaela Blakes to score, which is very crucial for her development and both of their development, honestly. But for Michaela Blakes, learning how to play off the ball is crucial. And now she's a pure scorer. And you can tell they trust Galvin. They trust her a whole lot. So I got them over Vandy. And then Auburn over Syracuse, I got the orange. For some odd reason, I'm just feeling the orange. But that's it for day one. Day two is pretty short. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 games. And I can talk about them all pretty in-depth. I have a good knowledge of these teams. But do I look really light-skinned here? I'm finally getting my color back, man. I got so tanned overneath the summer in that golf shit, man. My tan was nasty. But heading on to day two to the SEC ACC Women's Basketball Challenge. Starts off UNC. Well, we're going to start off UNC in Texas. Texas is, as much as I don't like Vic Schaefer, and I love the game of Madison Booker, and I ain't going to lie, I think they figured it out now. Vic Schaefer, I think he's figured it out. Roy Harmon, year 2 of the ACL surgery. She is ready to go. She's firing on all cylinders. The defense it's always been ridiculous. If you follow Vic Schaefer at Mississippi State, he did that at Mississippi State. He had better offensive players. But Roy Harmon, Madison Booker is all you need. It's all you need for Texas. Roy Harmon hit the big game winner against South Carolina in the Las Vegas Challenge, whatever they had out there, or wherever they was. She hit a big shot, won the game for him. Man, Texas has given South Carolina problems the last 2 years, so I expect it to keep going and keep being a problem. But I think I don't think North Carolina just has it. They got Nyla Harris and what's the other guard? I can't remember the other guard's name, but Nyla Harris coming from Louisville. It's just not going to be enough. They don't have what's my girl? Is it Bigsby? That played last year. I can't remember her name, but she went to the draft. I think she's overseas now. But UNC just doesn't have enough. Honestly, they just don't. So Texas easily. Let's move on to South Carolina and Louisville. I think this would be a tough game. South Carolina and Louisville, Let's start off with Louisville. Right? 2 tough losses. They're battle-tested. 2 tough losses to UConn and Kentucky by 10-plus points. Big year for Mary Berry. I called some of her high school games. She was a top 10 player, top 25 women's basketball player in the state, or in the country, matter of fact. She was originally, you can hear me wheezing. That's how early it is. Top 100 player, formerly committed to Clemson, took it away at the last minute, committed to Louisville, which I think was very smart with Jeff Waltz and them. Laura Ziegler, very good player. She's about 6'4", 6'5". She mans the middle pretty strongly. And then you have new lead guard Tajana Roberts. After you lose Nyla Harris to University of North Carolina, they'll still see each other in the SEC. So I think it'll be good. But Louisville is talented, man. They've always been good. They always get up and down. But one thing that I am disappointed is Zach Randolph's daughter, McKinley Randolph. She's not having the year I anticipated her to have. I was anticipating 14 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, a block, 35% from the trade, 50% plus from the field, 60, 70% from the charity stripe. But she's averaging like 6, 7 points. And I don't know. I think she'll be the X factor for Louisville if they even want to stand a chance against the big bodies of South Carolina. Now, South Carolina, not the biggest coaching fan of Dawn Staley. I respect her. She's one of the greatest coaches in college basketball to ever, grab a clipboard. But she struggles. I'm going to keep saying this. She struggles in developing guards. She struggled in developing Fawali. She struggles developing Raven Johnson into a premier offensive weapon. Tanaya Latson now has been sitting in the corner. Zia Cook. If you remember Zia Cook, those Aaliyah Boston days, she never transpired to what she truly could have been. And that's why she's struggling in the W to stay on the team, because the hype wasn't built around her. She struggles with guards, man. Dawn Staley struggles with guards. And I just do not like the way that she uses Raven Johnson, especially a 25-plus point per game scorer in Tanaya Latson. There's no reason Texas should have won that game when you have Tanaya Latson. When in doubt, I know you have Madison Booker, but find a way to free her up. And Roy Harmon ain't no slouch on the defensive end either. But you got to give one of your best players a chance. You have to. That's what you have to do if you're Dawn Staley. So it's been a week since South Carolina last played. I'm looking forward to seeing what were the adjustments made in that week, because I think you can beat Louisville I think you can beat Louisville by 10 plus. But how do you beat them by 10 plus? Do you beat them in a way? You'll have to, appease me. I'm a nobody here. I'm a guy with the microphone. But I do know a little basketball. I do know a little 1-2. So I'm intrigued to see how she uses Latson a little bit more. But I think they can handle Louisville, but I think it'll be a tough game. I definitely think Louisville is coming to play. But that's really all I got. So I'm going to take South Carolina 8 or 10. I'm going to take 8 or 10. I don't know what to expect from this game. LSU versus Duke. Go Tigers. Lane Kiffin. Woo. Another conversation for another day. But LSU's on fire. I think there are 7, 8 games in a row, 100-plus points. I think that's never been done in collegiate athletics, period. So, but it's not much to talk about with LSU. Michaela Williams, Flau'jae, Kate Koval, Malaysia Fawali. They're a dynamic group. 100-plus points in 7 or 8 games is incredible. It's unheard of, unfathomable, and it's a 300 monster you have to deal with on the perimeter. So just be ready to play defense or be ready to get into a shootout, because that's what you're going to do if you're playing against LSU. Now, Duke, I think, and I'm just saying my prediction now, LSU probably smack them. I don't know what the hell is going on with Duke, but I'm going to specify this. And I wish, hopefully I can tag her name in here. There's a player for Duke. She came off the bench last year, and she was everything the Blue Devils needed and more. She catapulted them into a lot of games because their team just wasn't the best for some odd reason last year. They had Reagan Richardson and all that, and I'm a big fan of Reagan. She didn't pan out in the W right now, but Duke had a good team last year, and hopefully I can tag her name right here at the bottom. But she transferred. She went to Maryland. She felt like she would get more playing time. Sarah had her on the bench still. Kara had her on the bench, the head coach. Still had her on the bench, but this is not what you expected. You expected Duke to be a top 10 team. They lost to West Virginia with like only 5 players available, 4 players available, something like that. USF, and they just had Jose Fernandez go to the Dallas Wings right at the beginning of the season. So, even though the same verbiage they had a new head coach, so it could have been problems there. They lost to Baylor, lost to UCLA, and lost to South Carolina. They just lost too much talent, honestly. They lost too much talent to the portal or to the WNBA, and I don't think Kara rebuilt. This is just a rebuild year. It didn't seem like it was supposed to be, but I think LSU by 50. It ain't much to talk about. with that. And then last but not least, to get out of y'all here and not make this video any much longer than what it gotta be. Ole Miss, hotty toddy, goddamn. And Notre Dame. It's as simple as this, man. The SEC and the ACC challenge is the contradictions of play styles. The slow physical play of the SEC and the up and down pace of the ACC. And with Ole Miss and Notre Dame, I think that is the true definition of the SEC and ACC challenge. I'm taking Ole Miss. I ride with hotty toddy to the day I die. I have loyalty there. I have ties there. I even got to go down there and interview the coach, tap into the socials at Dale Walton on Instagram. But, man, too big, too athletic, too strong. Hannah Hidalgo will have to have a virtuoso performance against the Rebs if she even wants to be close to winning this game. Cody McMahon is a problem. God damn, the traps on that girl, the legs, the quads on her is a fucking problem. She's built like a fucking horse. She could tow a truck right now with them quads. I promise you. But, I mean, Sarah Chino, Coach Yo, Christina Waller, they're just too big. The size difference is ridiculous. And Prosper and anybody else cannot just make up the lack of size. That's what I'm saying. Hannah Hidalgo will have to have a game of her life. I mean, if you think about what Notre Dame lost all this season, Maddie Westbell, Olivia Miles, Leah King, Sonia Citron, you lost a squad. And I just don't think you can come back from it. And I know this is a hot take. And we're going to have Hot Take Tuesdays, Hot Take Thursdays pretty soon. So y'all tap in for that too. But I'm gonna drop a hot take here. Even though Notre Dame had a battle with USC and Jazzy Davidson and they won by 1, I think Hannah Hidalgo will gas out pretty early or midway through conference play. And don't be surprised if they get like if they come in as an 8th seed and they play one of those tough mid-majors and they get upset in the first round and they be a first-round exit. I wouldn't be surprised at that. This is not a good team. This is not a good team. Hannah Hidalgo is the reason why this is a good team. And if she's draft eligible this year, she either needs to go to the draft or she needs to transfer. Because this is not gonna change within 1 year. This team is just no good. It's no good. And I hate that for Neil Ivey and the rest of the coaching staff, but the team is just no good. So I think Ole Miss hotty toddy goddamn get the job done pretty easily, probably like 75-55, something like that. But that's all I got, man. The SEC, ACC challenge is 2 days. So we're gonna come back here Friday after the final game's Thursday. That'll be my video for y'all just to break it down, what I seen. What's the scores, final scores, and then maybe we'll probably talk a little bit about who places where in the conference in terms of the SEC and the ACC. But I think that'll be my video for y'all on Friday. Tomorrow is boxing. Lamont Roach, Isak Pitbull Cruz. We break down the whole card. We got fighters popping dirty. Week of fight week. It's a lot going on. Oshaki and Stephen Fulton. They gonna get busy. It's a lot to talk about. But that's my SEC ACC challenge breakdown. I'm the Sport Fanatic, your boy Dale. This is all I got. This is early morning. I record this it's 6:42. I'm recording this at 6:42. So y'all should see this within a few hours. I appreciate y'all for listening, watching the whole 9, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Love y'all. See y'all again tomorrow. Day 3 is out the way. Peace.